Hey everyone, welcome back. Me, Paulus here. So today we're going to give you expert tips on how to run a fast-growing company. Okay, so we all want companies to grow big and grow fast, but being the CEO of a fast-growth company can be tough. So it's not something many of us get training in, and it can leave us feeling like we're behind the wheel of a sports car doing 90, but not knowing which controls make it slow down or speed up. In this video, I'm going to share some tips, tricks, and insights to help you successfully navigate and manage a fast-growing business. Let's go. So I happen to be the mother of 7 children. So we're blended. I had 2, my husband had 2, and then we had 3 little boys. And it's interesting because we didn't get a parenting manual when we had kids, right? Just sometimes like we don't get a business manual when we run a business, or we do, but we're told so many different things from experts, right? We don't know what order they're supposed to go in, and we don't really know how to apply them to us. And so back to the parenting example, like I think about like my poor older kids where we had to experiment on them first, right? We did so many things the wrong way. So hopefully our 3 little boys, we can make a few less mistakes in because we've done it before. And now I have a 21-year-old and like, oh, now I know what teenagers are like, which if you have any teenagers, we probably would never have kids if we knew what teenagers were like when we had them. No, that's a side note. Anyway, but same thing with business. Like how can we learn from the mistakes that others have done? You know, if you think about like, if we only could know what Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk did to get their business, like what were the things that they went through? What was their thought processes? And I wish we could have like all the behind the scenes things that they experience. Because a lot of times, like with social media, we just see all the good, right? And we don't see the pain and the struggles that we experience. If we learn from those that have gone before, I think we can learn not to make the same mistakes, and we can grow really fast growing companies. There's no rule that we have to take 5 years to get to where we want to go. I think if we have more calculated risks where necessary, and we know where to take more uncalculated risks, and we know what to focus on when, like it'll help us be able to navigate this pathway and this journey of business. So in my 15-year journey, I did a lot of things the wrong way. And so that's why I do a lot of these videos, is because I just feel really passionate about giving you the knowledge that I did wrong and show you the better way and the better sequence to do things. And so for a long, long time, I had this, if you build it, they will come mentality. I didn't have the marketing knowledge then that I have now. And so I literally had a big office and I would hire employees before I was ready for them. And I would say, oh, but I have such a great vision and it's just gonna happen. And it doesn't work that way. And so if I could go back in time to when I first started, I would have, even though I had this grand vision of really being able to serve entrepreneurs on a big level and really take over a lot of the work that they do in their company, I realized like I should have niched down sooner, and then I wouldn't have had to invest so much in the early stages of my own money to be able to make it work. And so niching down in those early stages is super important because it allows you to be hyper-focused. You're not having to spend so much money on so many different things, and you're able to do a lot more testing. You're able to be more agile, and you're able to really hone in on one market and one ideal customer profile so that you can then say, okay, what is the problems that they're having and how do I solve those problems? And then you can create an irresistible offer to go around it. And that is when you can really set yourself up for success, because you can do little micro experiments. So I've been kind of on a health journey where I've done a lot more fitness and eating better. And it's been interesting because I kind of, over the last few months, I've been really intrigued by something called design thinking, or they call it human-centered design. And really what they talk about is these different phases you go through when you're trying to validate a product. So you first go by empathizing with your customer and really determine what the problem is you're trying to solve. And then you define what that is. And then you go and you prototype it. And then you go and you test it. And then you can determine, do I need to iterate and pivot, or do I need to actually move forward and because it worked, right? And so you just keep doing this, right? You keep testing and experimenting. So I was the type of person that I thought I had to be perfect day one. And the thing is that if you take it through this design theory, you really want to start to test what works for you. What kind of eating plan works for me? What kind of fitness will work in my schedule? And so I've been doing a lot of experimenting and testing where it's like, oh, I thought I could go to the gym 6 days a week, but I found out I have a sleeping problem and I can't get up when I want. So now I'm trying to figure out my sleeping problem. And so it's interesting, like right now I'm doing this testing and experimenting and trying to get my bike rides in, but then I'm realizing like the kids are out of school, so how do I get out going on a bike ride? And so it's just like getting all the variables, all the objections, all the things that might keep me from achieving my goal and my objective. And so eventually, as I get it kind of figured out, like then when you get into what I call the pre-scale phase, where you need to build more systems and processes, you can kind of beef things up around you where you make sure that you still get your fitness in and you still get your eating in, because you're creating the lifestyle that you want to support that. And then you can start to really scale up and really create momentum with your fitness and I know this is not a business example, but like with your fitness and your weight loss. And it kind of has helped me because again, I got to do it perfect day one mentality. And so by learning about this, it's helped me in every aspect of life. I realize these principles apply to so much where you got to figure out what works for you and who you want and who you want to serve. So as you're going through these phases of business, first test, say, okay, do I want to really work with these type of customers? Do I really want to solve this problem? And then you need to commit to it and be like, okay, I'm committed to this journey. I'm committed to solving this problem. And then you can create an offering around that. And then as you continue to scale, then you're like, okay, now I'm going to build the systems that support that. And then I'm going to continue to increase the value to the customer and start to look for strategic partners. And then I'm like, wow, I have one core offering that's super, super successful. And now you can even grow your company even bigger by coming up with new products to diversify in or ways to enhance your current product offering. And so by having this sequence, it allows us to be able to have a roadmap that feels like we're not just getting kind of tossed to and fro with our business, because like I said, we don't have a parenting manual, right? So what I've done is I've pretty much taken the last 15 years of me being in business and all the things I did right, all the things that I did wrong, also the thousands of entrepreneurs I've talked to and worked with over the last 15 years and thought about all the things they did right and all the things they did wrong. And I really put it all together in something that I call the impact equation. And you can actually take a free assessment at theimpactequation.com, and it'll actually help determine what phase of business you're in and what you should be focusing on. And this is kind of my first initial roadmap to help you not make the same mistakes I did. I'm determined to get entrepreneurs to be able to focus and know what they need to do. And so share this video with other people too, because I want other people to know about this impact equation and how it can really help their business. So if you know other entrepreneurs, I would love for you to let them know about this channel, like and subscribe to it. And again, to take that free assessment, you can go to theimpactequation.com.